Time now for At the Market from Neiman's Family Market in St. Clair. At the Market is brought to you by CTV Community Television for Marine City in St. Clair. St. John Providence Hospital. Now let's join our host for this week's At the Market.
Good afternoon and welcome to Neiman's at the Market. I'm Martha Collins and today I'm here with Sisters in the Kitchen and we will be right back after a short, brief message.
I'm Dr. Lee Batcheldor, Chief Medical Officer for Ascension River District Hospital. I'm speaking to you on behalf of the hundreds of outstanding physicians, associates, and volunteers who provide personalized, compassionate, high-quality health care at our beautiful hospital on South River Road. We've been proudly serving this community for more than 50 years. Even more important, we plan to continue serving this community for a long time to come. Always remember that we are here when you need us, 24 hours a day, right here, right now, today, and in the future.
Okay, so today we have Kathy. I know. I don't know what the heck I was thinking about. Well, moment. It's the waste of the food coming at me and the wine. So, but we have the two sisters in the kitchen today, Kathy and Pat, and today we are going to go and decorate chocolate cupcakes, and Miss Pat there is going to tell us how to make a one-dish gourmet meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and corn. So, Kathy, let's get going with you before I eat them.
We'll do this first.
Oh, never mind. Well, I guess we're going to do this first. I always want to go to dessert first.
Technically,
but
what we're going to do first is what we always do when we cook. Excuse me.
Oh, excuse me.
We always have a little to drink because we think it's very important to always pair our wine with our food. So you will see that we even have glasses suitable for Sisters in the Kitchen. This is Martha's because it's got dark hair.
Thank you.
This is Kathy's because it has brown hair. And this is red because I was a redhead once.
Well, there you go. Well, cheers to the three sisters. Two sisters.
Very good. Now, this was a wine that I purchased here at Neiman's. It's called Lost Angel. You can do what you want with that title. But I looked up what kind of wine should you drink with a meatloaf, and it said Cabernet or Merlot. And so I found it right here at Neiman's, and it's a very nice little wine.
Okay.
So this is how this started. We always cook together. And Kathy and I and another group of girlfriends, we often would cook. And we had a lot of fun cooking and drinking and, feeding our husbands and just enjoying ourselves. So Kathy and I decided that if we were ever to actually have a cooking show, we'd be called Sisters in the Kitchen, and we would invite our sisters to come in and cook too. But we actually got to use the name through the St. Clair Women's League, of which all of us are members. Go ahead, Kathy, tell them how we got there.
So when we have our annual fundraiser, we decided we would cook a dinner for somebody. They would bid on us, and we would cook a dinner for 6 to 8 people. They would either come to my house or they would come to Pat's house. And actually, Paul Dingaman was part of the group one year at my house. And the people choose the menu, and we just have a good old time. We cook, they drink, and just have a lot of fun.
Not drinking.
We think cooking is about one of the most fun things to do with friends. And then, of course, eating with friends, too. So today, for our first on-the-air actual Sisters in the Kitchen, I said, well, let's do something that everybody can do. So what I've done is I've made a meatloaf dinner. Now, meatloaf is one of those things. When you're making a meatloaf, the one thing you have to remember is that there really is no rules. People put all kinds of things in meatloaf, so they use multiple different kinds of meats. This one, if you Google, just Google brown sugar ketchup meatloaf, this meatloaf recipe will pop up. And why it's good is because there's practically no ingredients in it. I've made them with lots of ingredients, but my kids and my husband always go back to this one. They say, make that one.
So what do you put in that there, Miss Pat?
That's just ground chuck, a couple pounds of ground chuck, and you can cut your onions, you can do all of that, but I'm going to tell you the secret. This is all about secrets. I use Lipton soup mix, and I just dump it in. The onions plump up. It is just the right amount of salt and seasonings, and it's fast. 3 eggs beaten, about a half a cup of milk, and then a couple cups of whatever kind of filler you want to use. Like I used just breadcrumbs today, but you can use ground up croutons. My mother always made her meatloaf with ground up saltine crackers.
Yeah.
Or oatmeal.
Or
My mother-in-law
oatmeal,
did oatmeal.
Right.
So any of those work. You have to find your taste.
Now, after you form that, I do have a question, because I have attempted to make meatloaf, and I consider myself a pretty good cook. And I've attempted to make meatloaf on several occasions, but it's always so oily. Do you put it in a special dish to cook it?
No, halfway through, I pour the oil off, and then at the end, I do it again. But like I used ground chuck that I bought here. I didn't go to a ground sirloin, and the reason is because there's more flavor in ground chuck. I didn't do ground round or ground sirloin, but it was pretty lean actually, and I didn't have to pour off until the end. But it also it does provide, when you make this recipe, which is on a bed of brown sugar and ketchup.
Oh, yum.
And then you put brown sugar and ketchup on the top. It does make it kind of crispy. And so it's pretty good.
It looks fabulous. I will tell you what, I'm like, I could just sit there and eat the whole plate.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, you'd have to fight at my house to get it. That's why I make great big ones, because, of course, what is the best thing about meatloaf?
cold meatloaf sandwiches
That's right.
in the next day. You
Cold
better
meatloaf
believe
sandwiches.
it.
If I don't make enough for cold meatloaf sandwiches, then I have failed my family. And my boys are grown and gone, but when I make a meatloaf, I often will call them and say, if you want to come over, I've got meatloaf, and if they're busy, I just pack it and send it to them, because it's kind of like an unwritten rule. So really all I wanted to do was to give people hints. The big hint about a meatloaf is you want to use your hands. Take your rings off, wash your hands real good, and you get in there and form it, but you don't want to over form, because it gets kind of tough.
Right.
After you do it a while, you'll get it. Now, this is my favorite assortment to go with the meatloaf. It's my family's favorite. Mashed potatoes. Everybody has their way of making mashed potatoes. These are the simplest way. I used Yukon Gold. Sometimes I will mix Yukon Gold with another potato to make it a little firmer. And then I don't mess around. There's a stick of butter and some milk and a little salt, and that's all it is. And you leave some lumps so they know that it's
That's homemade.
Real potatoes.
Yep.
I mean, that's, and Kathy and I both agreed, what we always do is heat our milk and butter.
Yes.
Yep.
But I also, if I'm making a meal at my house, I got to have like at least 10 pounds of potatoes. I put them in my crock pot.
Oh.
You put them in a crock pot on low. You can make them ahead of time so you're not all hot and sweaty when it's time to serve. And in a crock pot, you make a little well and you put a little pat of butter there, and then everybody knows you use butter. Because this isn't the meal you want to use when you're dieting. This is the meal you want to use when you want to cuddle up and you want to love somebody. And
Pat, I love you. I just wanted you to know that I really,
love you too, Martha.
I really love you.
That's what I mean, my girlfriend.
And I just wanted to put that out there before we had to share this with the mass, that I really, truly have always loved you since
too,
the
Martha.
day I met you.
Me too. Now,
Hey,
the other key is you could do a salad with this, but nobody really wants a salad. What they want is corn, so you could mix it with your potatoes. And that's just like an unwritten rule. You just take your corn and put it in your potatoes. I don't quite understand that, but that's the way it's done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plate it, because you have to plate things in this day and age, and I want to make it look pretty. So I'm going to move it. Well, first I'm going to have a little
Yeah, have a little sip. Wait a minute, we're all thirsty. Give us a second here.
Yep.
Yeah, it was time for a little sip. Oh, that's good. That's very good wine. So I'm just going to plate it now. Now, at our house, my boys might have 2 of those, but for today, we'll just have 1 on the plate. And I actually, when I was here buying this stuff for this meal, I did buy parsley, because parsley's real pretty on it. But then I thought, my boys would have just knocked that off.
They would have said, what happened?
Yeah, why are you putting parsley on this? If they even knew what it was. So I said, I'm really making this the same way I would have made it if my children were over. And I never mixed that for them. They do it themselves. But there it is. This
It's
literally
beautiful.
took me maybe 20 minutes of preparation, and then an hour to cook the meatloaf.
At what degree, Kath?
350.
Or Pat, I'm sorry, 350?
Yeah, 350 for 1 hour, and you can put a meat thermometer to make sure it's 160. But I always just cut the end.
Do you cover it or do you leave it uncovered?
Open so it gets that nice little brown sugar.
Yeah, we wouldn't want
That's
that
smart.
brown sugar and ketchup to go anywhere except inside that meat.
It makes it really nice. So this is dinner, but again, at my house, they're all looking while they're eating their dinner for what's for desserts. Kathy does the most beautiful cakes, the most beautiful cupcakes, the most beautiful cookies that I've ever seen, and more importantly, they taste really good. And she often does filled cupcakes, but today I'll let you two make your cupcakes.
Well, I'm gonna.
Once again, food gets moved away and out of my reach. But see, I'll tell you what, these ladies are very smart. Even though they love me and I love them, they know to keep things out of my reach.
So with cupcakes, before I was doing cakes, I would just pick up the cupcake and take my spatula and just do this with the frosting. This method is so easy, and a lot of people may do this. And you buy the cupcakes in the store, and they're already frosted, and they just look amazing. Now, if you don't have at home, if you don't have the plastic bags for this, you can simply take some parchment. You make a square, and then you cut it, fold it in half, and make a triangle, and then you just fold it like this. Go over a little bit, do that to sort of secure it in place. You take your scissors, you cut a little bit of the tip off, you throw your tip in there, and you've got your own pastry bag that you can frost your own, stuff with. So I've got two different tips today. I've got a round tip and I've got a star tip. This is a 1M. I like this one because that might be some parsley.
There's that piece of parsley she may or may have not put on that.
I like this one because
meatloaf.
it really makes a pretty cupcake. So I'll just show how really easy it is. Now I have arthritis in my hand, and this really does not bother me at all to squeeze this. So all you simply do is you just go around there like this.
Aww. Kathy, what do you make your frosting out of?
I use butter, so 2 cups of butter, 4.5 cups of powdered sugar, which I sift. I just started doing that, and it makes all the difference in the world is to sift your powdered sugar.
Okay.
And then you add a teaspoon of vanilla, or you can do almond. And for this is a strawberry buttercream, so you take some strawberry jelly and you crunch it up, and then you put about 8 tablespoons in your recipe.
Well, I'll tell you what. Hey, what are you sisters? What is your maiden name?
You mean before we got married?
Yeah, before you got married.
Matthews.
And mine was Vaughn.
Fun?
So this is the star
A long
tip,
time ago.
and this is the round tip. You just simply go around in a circle like that. And of course, you could put different things on this. You could put sprinkles and things like that, if you would like.
So fast.
And you don't have to pick up the cupcake.
That you know,
You know?
especially during the holidays and that, like with you being sisters, and I know I have a very large family. I have 8 brothers and sisters, and you hate to tackle things like this because it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever.
But look at how easy it is.
That is so easy. It looks delicious.
Well, here's a tip.
Watch this.
Now, a lot of people out there might already know. You want to take one? You want to do
No, you
this?
do it.
Okay, so a lot of people out there might know how to do this, but most people take their cupcake and they do this, and then they start eating it. No, this is what you want to do, and this isn't my idea. A really good friend and former co-worker of mine, Dawn, thank you, Dawn, showed me how to do this. You take off the bottom, you put it on the top, so each bite you have a little frosting and you have some cake.
Well, there you go. I tell you
know.
what, hanging around with these girls, they got it down.
So that's it with the
That's like a
cupcakes.
whoopie pie.
It's like
Yeah,
a whoopie pie,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what?
Not
We
to
don't
worry.
want to, encourage too much. So we'll wait until we go off the air.
when you're not watching.
Finish, when no one's watching. And plus, we don't like to drink with so many people watching us.
Yeah.
We like to
don't wanna
keep
do
our
that.
halos nice and gold and shiny and bright. So I will tell you what, my two little sisters in the kitchen, if you're ever looking for a third sister to come and help you, let me know. I can get one of those too.
When we have our national job,
Yes, for the Women's
you'll
League.
be coming as our guest.
Oh, well, you know what? And actually, right after next week, we'll be airing the the lady who is in charge of this year for the Women's League, and she's going to be here to talk about the Wild West theme.
And that's
for
where
the
you can
Women's
bid
League.
on us to
Yes.
come and cook you a dinner.
Yes.
But you have to come
But
to
you
be
have to
able to
pay
do
a
that.
lot of money to get us to come.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of money that goes right back to the
Yep.
our charities.
And that is one
That's
thing
right.
that I've always respected and admired about the Women's League, is that it's definitely a nonprofit organization, and every dollar goes back to the community. And the St. Clair Women's League supports so many fine groups, and you know, it really is a very, very worthwhile event. You know, to go ahead and meet with friends and gather tables, and you know, and just visit everyone in St. Clair. And it really is a wonderful social event. And this year it is November 1st, 2018, at the River Crab. Doors opening at 5 p.m. They didn't think I knew all that much. The wine hasn't quite gotten to me yet.
What's going on at the River Crab right now?
What is going on in the River Crab? Well, June 6th we'll start our very first deck opening with the One Love Reggae Band.
I already have my reservations.
I did see that. and it's supposed to, and, you know, and I heard the weather coming in here. It is supposed to be up in the 70s. So, you know, we're going to definitely be outside. And you know what, so bring a little sweater or something, because it does add to the atmosphere of being outdoors with the sun and, well, maybe not that cool of a breeze blowing through our hair, but you know, that's what the wine is for. You know, that warm will wine you up. And I'm going to start training St. Bernard dogs to come through to help us out on that deck on those cold days, so that we can, you know, keep those people out on that deck. A little shot of schnapps. If it's good for the Alps, it's good enough for the River Crab as well. But that will start, and then June 18th, I believe. No, when is Father's Day? 17th. So June 18th, we will start up with the Huron Lady Dinner Cruises, where it's $60 per person. It does include your boat ride from the Huron Lady that you board at Desmond's Landing in Port Huron. You come down to the Crab, get off on our dock. Then you come sit down. We do a 3-course dinner. It also includes your non-alcoholic beverage, your tax and gratuity, and then you go back up, get board the boat, and then we serve you our house-made key lime pie and fresh coffee as you enjoy the cruise back to Desmond Landing. So you were ready to kick off summer, and this Wednesday is One Love Reggae, and then we do a lot of local bands this year, so I think it will appeal to all our St. Clair locals, and I think they'll branch out to the following communities as well. Oh, and we'll be right back.
I'm Dr. Lee Batcheldor, Chief Medical Officer for Ascension River District Hospital. I'm speaking to you on behalf of the hundreds of outstanding physicians, associates, and volunteers who provide personalized, compassionate, high-quality health care at our beautiful hospital on South River Road. We've been proudly serving this community for more than 50 years. Even more important, we plan to continue serving this community for a long time to come. Always remember that we are here when you need us, 24 hours a day, right here, right now, today, and in the future.
So Carrie, I thank you for being here and letting us know about the November 1st Wild West Women's League themed dinner on November 1st. So why don't you tell us and the audience a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, I would love to give a thank you to Neiman's for hosting us here today, and a big thank you and shout out to you, Martha, the lovely hostess of the River Crab, for hosting our event there again this year. Our annual fall fundraiser will be on November 1st, which is a Thursday. Doors open at 5. I believe the event is from 7 to 9. And it's a wonderful event. The St. Clair Women's League is a local group of charitable, generous-minded women, hardworking women. 100% of our fundraising efforts go to local charities. So not just charities, but local people. Everything from children in distress to adopting needy families for Christmas to local ecumenical food pantry.
Yes.
And we have a couple fundraisers every year. We just finished up our flower sale fundraiser. Local residents might have seen us scurrying around in Riverview Plaza.
Yeah, on one of the coldest days of the year.
Rainy and cold with all hundreds and hundreds of flower orders. But our second fundraiser we do every year is our fall fundraiser. And as you said, it's going to be themed Wild Wild West this year. Tickets will be $50 per person. They're not on sale yet, but they will be soon. So keep your eyes peeled for the St. Clair Women's League Facebook page and the City of St. Clair Facebook page as well for announcements, plus a member of the Women's League that you know might be reaching out to you. We're going to be having $50 ticket per person, includes a lovely dinner. We'll also be doing raffles, a really fun 50-50, lots of baskets chock full of goodies from chocolate to gift certificates to wine and other adult beverages for you to try to win. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Put on your boots and saddle up your horses and come to the River Crab and meet the St. Clair Women's League there for our Wild Wild West fall fundraiser on November 1st.
You know, Carrie, you had mentioned that the St. Clair's Women's League does a lot of community events for this, and you know, and once again, just to reiterate that it is a totally nonprofit organization, and that every single dime earned goes back to the community. You know, as Carrie had said, you know, kids in distress, which, you know, there's so many needy children in our community that this is a great reach out program. I know that the Kids in Distress will also, you know, besides adopt families at Christmas, they're also doing, you know, things at the holidays so that no one feels left out during those times. And then, as she said, they do the food pantry, they do scholarships for people, for the young, you know, the young communities, so that they, you know, help them with their education. And so, you know what, everything goes back to this community, and it also will reach into Marysville and Port Huron in special occasions. But it is meant to drive and help the people in our community, and it's all, you know, done by all these selfless women who go out of their way with their time and their brilliance and their creativity to form such a nice group to belong to.
Absolutely, Martha. 100% of all of our ticket sales as well as raffle sales will go to those local charities. Not a single penny is wasted. And speaking of which, if any local residents or local businesses would like to donate baskets for raffle or even an item for a basket, we accept and appreciate all contributions, small, medium, and large. Just reach out to us on the St. Clair Women's League Facebook page, or you can also email us at stclairwomen@gmail.com.
And you know, and since it is at the River Crab, and I've been able to be a part of it for so many years, I mean, you just have to remember that no donation is too small and no donation is too large, because all the money, you know, that is taken in that night is then quickly redistributed amongst the community. Well, Carrie, I'd like to thank you very much for joining us today at Neiman's at the Market, and I hope that all of you will stay tuned for next week when we will have Catch 22 Bistro here. So thank you and have a great day.
You've been watching At the Market from Neiman's Family Market in St. Clair. At the Market is brought to you by St. John Providence Hospital and CTV Community Television for Marine City and St. Clair. Join us again soon for another At the Market.